Hi, Patreon friends. This is Lisa from Sonia's US team, and today is March 9th, 2023. We have a couple of announcements that we wanted to share with you today. First of all, welcome to all of our new Patreon members. I want to let you know that I'm going to be adding something to our welcome for each new person, and I'd also like to share this with all of our Patreons that we have right now. Everything that you submit when you agree to volunteer for any recordings will be made public. It will be published unless you very specifically tell us that there's something that you don't want published. Um, and if you don't want anything published, chances are Sonia may not be able to work with you in that particular group, because the entire purpose of doing what she does is to advance the technology, to allow our spirit friends to continue improving their communication with us, and to give us more ideas for sharing communication with them. So it's wonderful that we get to have some relief from our grief, from these wonderful recordings and all of the wonderful things that they're sharing with us from the other side. But the really important thing is to get the research out there. And we need it out there, and we need it out there in many forums, because we've been trying very hard to get this research scientifically authenticated for a very, very long time. But that costs an awful lot of money to hire somebody to do that. And so we're trying to get the information out in the public domain, knowing that it will be seen by exactly who needs to see it and who can help us. And I just know that that's going to happen, and we're not going to have to come up with some incredible amount of money that we don't have. As you know, the vast majority of our Patreons are paying about $5 or $10 a month. And with that income and what we have to replace, and some of the people that do things for us in Brazil that have to be compensated, we just don't have that. So we have to get the information out there. So I'm going to remind you, and I'm also going to make sure that I put that into a welcome to all of our new members, that Sonia takes a lot of time to do this. Recording takes an incredible amount of time after the recording to just look so carefully for any phenomenon. And it's not just images of your loved one. A lot of times, as you very well know, there's images of unknowns, there's age regressions, age progressions, there's owls, ultra terrestrials, and they're sending those things for a reason. So it's really, really important for us to get those things out there. Okay, second, I wanted to tell you about some upcoming issues that we have that I don't want you to miss. I know that you don't have time each week to read every report that comes into your inbox, but Sonia is currently working with moms, spouses, children, whose children or spouses or parents, siblings, have chosen to take their own life and end their earthly experience here. Um, some religions have put such a negative attachment with that. But if you start to read some of the spiritualist literature, the spiritist literature, and if you start to read about some of the people who have visited mediums, who have come through physical mediumship, we'll find out that so much of that dogma has simply been wrong. And it's been put out there really to more or less control people, to keep you in a state of fear. I want you to make every effort to watch some of these videos and to read some of these magazines that are coming up. And I believe it's going to be starting with report 138. 138 and 139 will focus on the 4 young women that we're working with currently and finishing up. And sadly, we had 20 recipients from our Patreon group whose male loved ones chose to end their own life. And these are not just young men. We have people from 17 years old all the way up into his late 70s. The phenomenon that came through with the girls is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And if this doesn't convince you that these kids are great right now, nothing will. They did some absolutely amazing things based on the one photograph that I asked the moms to send. So all of the girls, um, they're children of their moms, and I asked for only one photograph, and I asked them for nothing more than a name, an age, a passing date, and where they lived. That's all. I didn't want to know anything about them. I didn't want to see any pictures of them. I didn't want to share anything with Sonia other than that one photo close to the age at which they passed. And of course, Sonia recorded with each one at a time. And that took the better part of a week to do. And yet, these girls started doing some really fun and interesting things that we haven't seen before. Third, I wanted to tell you about a really exciting event that's going to be coming up this fall in the Netherlands. Um, we all know, or most of us know, our good friend and fellow patriot, Sandra Champlain. And many of us have had an opportunity to go to some of her workshops before. And that is where I met the incredible, amazing physical medium, Scott Milligan, probably the best physical medium in the world. And if you go on to Facebook, any of the pages on Facebook, any of the social media pages, you will not find a negative word, a skeptical word about this guy anywhere because he is absolutely incredible. From October 9th to October 13th, there's going to be an all-inclusive event being held in the Netherlands at a place called Baarlo, Baarlo. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And it is going to be a collection of mental mediums. Scott will be doing physical mediumship and trance mediumship, and we'll have somebody else doing trance mediumship. We have a spirit artist, and they have a special guest who's going to be attending. And that special guest is none other than Sonia. And Sonia will be presenting throughout the week. And she will also be doing workshops throughout the week. I'll be there with her and I will be presenting also. And it's just going to be an absolutely magical, magical week. It's at a castle type place, I think, anyway, in Baarlo. And it's all inclusive. And from what I understand from Scott, the food is to die for. Those are my puppies in the background barking, sorry. But it is going to just be magical. I'm going to tell you a little bit about who else will be there and then how you can find out more about it. Josephine Mackenzie from the Noah's Ark Society. She is a spirit artist who is unbelievable, incredible. She's going to be doing some spirit art with the fantastic Dominic Bogue, and that's Boag, Dominic Bogue. He is a fantastic, fantastic mental medium. They are going to be working together. Dominic and Josephine, they're going to be working together in a gallery. And if you've never seen a gallery before that involves a spirit artist, Dominic will be describing someone while Josephine is drawing that person, and it will be for someone in the room. It's amazing, the detail and the idiosyncrasies of the person that they can bring through. So that's a really fun thing. We have Daniela. I'm so sorry. Daniela's last name is Dutch, and I'm going to massacre it, so I'm not even going to. I'm going to spell it for you. It's Nijhuis. So I don't know how you say that, but she is a sweet, funny, funny, funny person. And she is a healing medium who will be doing healing mediumship during the week. We also have Yolanda Gerards. She is a fantastic trance medium, and she will be doing trance medium channeling. And of course, we have Dominic Bogue. We have Scott Milligan, who will just teach you amazing things. He will also be channeling. doing trance. And there will be, for the first time in 4 years, seances in Holland, in the Netherlands. And if you have never sat in physical mediumship seance with Scott, it is an experience that you will never, ever forget. So I wanted to tell you about that and to let you know that that special guest is going to be Sonia. And let's see, I told you that it's all inclusive. And you can find out more about this event by writing to Kimberly Sutherland, who is the administrator for setting all of this up. She is at walkingwiththeunseen@gmail.com. And we'll put that up for you now. And finally, I'm looking for volunteers again. So listen up. I actually thought about asking some people specifically, some very, very well-spoken people and friends that I knew would say yes. But I want people to say yes because they want to do it, not because they want to say yes to me or I want them to do it because they really want to do it. What we're looking for is some video testimonials, some video talks. Nothing long, just maybe 2-3 minutes tops, absolute tops, because we want to do a video montage to bring with us when we go to this wonderful event in October. But we also want to put some things out there on YouTube and some other social media platforms and share with our patrons who have yet to receive any type of an ITC message from their loved ones and who are waiting either patiently or impatiently for that to happen. So what I'm looking for is I am looking for you to make a video and send it to me. I want you to talk about what you believed about death. What did you think happened when we die before someone that you love died? Now, after following Sonia, after the readings that you've done, after the videos that you've watched, after the experiences that you've had, the signs that you've received, what do you think happens now? Have you changed your mind at all about that? Also, have you had an experience with Sonia? Have you had an opportunity to hear your loved one or to see your loved one on the other side in a trans image, in a video? Some of you have had the opportunity of seeing your loved one younger, older, coming through with other family members. Some of you have had the wonderful opportunity of seeing your loved one come through in somebody else's recording, which is a fantastic phenomenon that's been happening for a while, but it's happening with more and more frequency now. Would you be willing to tell us a little bit about that loved one? And what was it like having that opportunity to see them or to hear them again from the other side? Did you go from believing to knowing? What does Sonia's work mean to you? Would you be willing to do that? If you are, I will take those videos. You can send them to me at this email address. You can send them to me on WhatsApp. You can just get them to me somehow so that we can collect them up and make a video montage. And we will use them in different forms at different times. When we make the video montage, I will absolutely present that to all of you so that you, especially those of you who haven't yet had the opportunity to see or hear your loved one from the other side, and I hope that every one of you will at some point, so that you can see and hear what other people have to say about that and what that's done to change them. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't think I have any more announcements for today. I do hope that you will get those things to me over the next, let's just say, month. If you can get them to me in about a month, don't worry what you look like. Don't worry what you sound like. We're doing this, and you're not doing it for me, and you're not doing it so much for Sonia. You're doing it for the research and for everything that those on the other side are doing to get the information to us that we live on after death. And I will talk to you soon.